afternoon, YouTube. So I am in Arnold, Pennsylvania, which is actually a suburb, one of the several suburbs of Pittsburgh. So I'm backed into a door unloading, so that there's a reefer unit kind of running on the other side of my truck, and so it's kind of noisy. But anyway, I'm going to take a few pictures or a few shots around here and kind of show you where I'm at. Pittsburgh's kind of a different, Pittsburgh's kind of weird geography-wise. It's kind of in the mountains, the entire thing is, and so you can't really get a sense of the whole city. Not in a way you can in other cities. So we're looking. I don't know what direction I'm at. What we're aimed at right now. I've kind of lost direction because I'm all turned around. But you can see that now where those hills are over there, there's actually a river in between, and it's kind of deceptive looking because those don't look like they're very tall hills, when in fact they actually are. So I'll go ahead and pan the camera around. To my right, again, you can see there are more hills to my right, and you can see that there's actually quite a bit of housing that's built on the side of that hill over there. So now I've zoomed in, and that should give you a better indication of the scale of the hill to my right and the stuff that's kind of built on it. I don't know how well it's showing up. You should be able to make out traffic going by on looks like it's a freeway over there on towards the bottom of that hill. If you could see that the thing that it looks like an upside down U, you should be able to make out the traffic going by just underneath it. It's sort of a blue color in the lower left corner of the screen. That should give you a better sense of the scale of the hill that we're looking at. So while I was waiting, I'm waiting for the next load. The load's now unloaded. They still hadn't sent a load. So I walked I don't know, about a third or a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile altogether, to find a place to eat. And I was able to find this kind of an Asian / Chinese place, and I'll include a still picture here in the video of the food that I had, but it was actually extremely good. Well, it's now somewhat later. I got back to the truck, and they sent a load that picks up at Streetsboro, Ohio, which isn't, I don't know, it might be 100 miles from here. Hard to say, something like that. And then that load delivers Monday. Today's Friday, so that delivers, I believe, if I'm thinking right, delivers Monday morning at 3 a.m. in Gaffney, North Carolina. And so in any case, I'm going to probably leave here maybe by about midnight Eastern time. I'll leave. Right now I'm still at Arnold, Pennsylvania. So I'll have to go. There's a TA truck or TA Petro truck stop somewhere. I think it's a Petro truck stop actually over in Ohio. Don't remember exactly where it's at. I'll have to stop there and get the trailer washed out, and then go on over to Streetsboro, Ohio, and that should be a drop and hook if Hopefully they've already got it loaded. That should be a drop and hook. It usually is, but not always. But I'm assuming since it's late, it's going to be in the middle of the night. Whenever I get there, should already be loaded. So, in any case, what I want to do, I received some comments on YouTube, and I kind of talked about that a little bit in the last video that I put up last night. And so the person went ahead and responded again, and so I'll go ahead and read the response. The point I was making was your sense of right and wrong is learned from your parents, whether it's right or not, and therefore, if you're a child and you have an incorrect sense of right and wrong, you cannot be held responsible because it's the only sense of right and wrong that you know. It's entirely up to your parents to make sure it's correct, because you learn it from them, if it isn't, they are solely responsible. Well, like I said in the last video, we do learn our sense of right and wrong from our parents. Now, our parents aren't perfect. None of us are. So, at some point, now kids always hate their parents. Even if the parents aren't there, the kids always hate their parents because they resent their parents because their parents failed them in some way. Children tend to look at parents as if they're gods. Little kids do, and the gods end up sorely disappointing them, sort of the parental gods. So, at some point, regardless, at some point, you've got to begin, if you're a questioning person, you've got to mature, and you've got to stop resenting your parents. Maybe they did the best they could. Maybe they did the very best that they could, but they had their flaws as well. And so, or maybe they were rotten parents. Either way, you've got to get over it. You've got to let go of it. So, at some point, you become responsible. You get up to a certain age, and then there's the idea that you become responsible. So, but all I'm saying is that there is if you're going to mature and if you're really a searching person, all I'm saying is that there is a latent sense of right and wrong that's kind of built into us as human beings. You could say, well, if you don't want to believe in God, then you can say, well, it's built into our biology. But it's not, it doesn't dominate. In the same way instincts dominate animals, pick your favorite animal or plant or insect, and they have their instincts and they have to follow those instincts. They don't have any choice. We as human beings are the only creature on this planet. We have to sort of learn how to be human beings, but we've been given a choice. We kind of know, we have this built-in knowing that, if we're really looking for it, and it's a kind of a latent thing. It doesn't dominate us, but we do have this built-in knowing of right and wrong. And we kind of, most of us know it as a sort of a guilty conscience, because we kind of, when you're stealing something, it's wrong. Or if you abort your kid, that's wrong. So on and so forth. And I don't care what, how you can twist it in your head to, think that it's okay to kill your baby, for example. Whether it's born or not is really immaterial. That's wrong, and it's wrong. So, and it's wrong to commit murder, and it's wrong to commit adultery, and so on and so forth. And, so even though we are brought up, we sort of absorb the culture. We certainly absorb the culture that we're born into. If you're born in America, then you're going to be an American. If you're born in Borneo, for example, you might be a cannibal. There's a good chance you could be a cannibal because your parents are cannibals. And, everybody thinks cannibalism's okay. Now, in modern Borneo, I think they've kind of gotten away from it somewhat, but That I'm just kind of using that as an example. So, but at some point, if you were really a searching person and you were born in Borneo, and even if you'd eaten people, if you're really a searching person, at some point you'd realize, well, there's something wrong with the way I exist. It's not right to eat people. Something's not right about that. And, so you could come to that realization regardless of what circumstances or what your culture said, because culture is just, it's whatever it is. It's just sort of an externalized hell that kind of arises in the absence of kind of a genuine God-given identity, morality, so on and so forth. So we as human beings, we're here on this earth to sort of, we're given the chance to, it's kind of hard things to express. We're given the chance, we come into this world sort of born in, there's the concept of being born in sin. We're given the chance to sort of find out where the sin goes, and if you're really a searching person, then at some point you're going to keep looking and looking and looking until you find the truth, and then you can find. So rather than God just creating wind-up robots that we'd follow our morals just like an animal follows its instincts, we'd follow, that would be, instead of making that dominant, that morality or that God-given identity dominant, because if it were, then we would mechanically follow it, and we'd be like you create a robot, and the robot, or a wind-up doll, you pull the string and it says, I love you, I love you, I love you. Well, what good is that? And so if you're God, how would you create a creature that could voluntarily love you? And so you have to give them that creature the opportunity to mess up and to fail. And then, the creature, and it's kind of sort of a mystery as to why, but if the creature was really searching and was really looking for the truth, really wanted the truth, then you have the opportunity to find it. And so that's all I'm saying, is that that does exist. If you want it, that does exist. If you're really a searching person, there really is a truth to find. And it's not, we're just not programmed animals, because if you're just a programmed animal, then you should have no problem with what I'm saying. But so if you do have a problem with what I'm saying, then there's a good chance that there's some conscience there that's kind of bothering you, perhaps. Where you feel compelled to say, well, no, we're all just programmed animals. So there, and all we have to do, we can program utopia. All we have to do is just reprogram our society, reprogram ourselves, get rid of any dissent, reprogram, and then we'll have utopia. And no, we won't. We'll have hell on earth. That's what we always struggle with. Is that this earth is sort of a halfway house between heaven and hell. And by the way, God created evil as well, so that it would give us something because otherwise there would be no choice. We would be those wind-up robots, or a doll with a string, because if there were no evil if evil didn't exist to sort of tug at us, then as an opposing force, then there'd be no choice, and we would be those wind-up robots, or the doll with the string. So what I'm saying is that there is an objective reality. There is but you have to want to find it. And if you don't, that's fine. I don't really care. But if you are a searching person, it exists. So Anyway, I need to cut this off. As I say, I'll be leaving here about probably around midnight or so. And, you know, get the other load picked up hopefully, and park somewhere, find some place to park. It should be pretty easy since this is a Friday night. Usually a lot of the truck stops aren't nearly as busy on Friday night, Friday or Saturday nights, as they are during the other days of the week. So should be able to find some place to park and spend the rest of the night. I did sleep today, I don't know, probably about 3 or 4 hours this afternoon. I was kind of feeling sleepy after I got here. It was about, I guess it was around maybe 11 when I got here, Eastern time. And so I did sleep probably at least 3 hours or 3.5 hours, maybe upwards of 4 hours. So right now I'm wide awake, but I should be able to sleep later. And so anyway, from Arnold, Pennsylvania, I'll catch you later.